Believe. New time of play of a demon. We only got one, unluckily. We didn't make it that far. It would have been great, but small steps. So let's talk about this for a second. We had four, I believe, stretch goals that we managed to get to. One was this lesser demon. We'll talk about it later. One was the pre-gen adventure that will uh, be written by Mitchell from Penny for a Tale, and it will feature the demons and humans that were used on stream from the marvelous people of Dice and Danes. We will give links for all of these wonderful people in our chat because they helped us quite a lot. And then I think we have more magical items. That's gonna be fun. I reckon players like magical items, don't they? I say as if I've never played a game in my life. I'm just a soulless lizard programming games. And yeah, the last one is a bit more of an inside thing, a bit of a mechanical thing. We want to make it easier for people to uh, to move their games away from the modern day. Maybe the reason why digital competence is not helping you in the middle age is because you are not good enough at it. Checkmate. Well, if you were Ackerman, you could just act time, bring a computer back in time. Why is Kung Fury such a good movie? But yeah, that's gonna be all of the stretch goals we got. Luckily, we didn't get all of them, but let's be honest, we really set up way too many. I think, yeah, we went really over, but there's really nothing. There's really nothing wrong with it. Yeah, and the other thing is we will just fold all the ones that we didn't make in a supplement, as you do. The supplement is already being worked on by me, since the rest of the dev team are just like 4 people. The rest of the dev team is busy with the book, and I'm kind of laying out the groundwork for the supplement. It won't feature it might feature extremely different game mode. We will see about that. We have ideas, but right off the bat, the supplement will be mostly about other human characters, not the target, everyone else, and trying to make them a little more interesting. Like add that much meat, to the concept in order to not make them feel just like target lead. Just like don't make them feel like they are just inferior to the target for any reason. Mechanical wise. Yeah, just like help them up a little. It's gonna be fun. Let's talk about what we're doing here today, and then we will talk about our backers because there's some announcements we have to make. So the demon that made it in the game, there was actually a little talk, a little speculation in the Discord this morning about which demon will make it, which was the demon assigned to the first stretch goal. Ask me which one was it. No, and I just picked the one that I liked the most. I didn't assign them before we were done. Why would I do that? I just picked the one that I liked the most. Uh, I feel like this is the one that's more. I don't want to say unique, but it's interesting. It's fun. I feel like the most important thing about this is kind of fun, chaotic demon, and I feel like some of our players more than others. Not pointing any finger. I'm not pointing any finger. Some of our players, some of which might or might not make it to design an archdemon later. Some of these players, we like this one. Uh, we will be drawing the iconic the lesser demon for this class, this type of demon, which is the molten demon. The molten demon is something we didn't exactly do with the base roster. The base roster has 7 lesser demons. This will be the 8th. All of the others are kind of once they move very in a very linear way. Once you buy their first skills, most of them have at least one set power, which kind of influence the way you will play it. The interesting part about the Molten Demon is that it's the keyword when designing it was unstable. This is the unstable demon. This is uh the Joker, if you want. This is the unpredictable one. And yeah, it's a wild card, yeah. And this is why it's suspect. Its form, the way it appears, is also very flowing in a way. It always changes. It's never quite the same. We wanted to represent this in the iconic demon, making it sort of like melting and smoking, and have this like melting smoke serpent kind of theme. This is probably the yeah. This is honestly this is not something I was expecting to hear today. This is such a callback I wasn't expecting today. But I would say you kind of sniped me because this is probably the most Hellboy thing I've done for this game. This one, this one lifted, this one lifted kind of much from Hellboy, especially from like some of Hellboy's characters. Kind of stance, this like a bit gorilla-like, if you want, body. If you haven't realized, I'm a huge fan. You think so? I didn't actually look at anything Mignola for that. Kind of surprised you say that. Hmm. I mean, that's good. Most of the design is actually based on a Ubisoft game. It's for honor. It's designed for king. It's based on the
Oh,
Black Prior, on the iconic Black Prior.
huh. Elvis, can you hear me now? Apparently,
Yeah.
my channel was muted during this. So
Oh
despite that
wow.
we could hear, my output channel was muted.
All through it was muted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. How did you catch it?
Elvis just typed it in chat.
Wow, that was
Hello.
amazing for you.
Well, I mean,
Okay, so
first stream on Twitch. What can you do, right?
yeah. Well, sorry everyone. Apparently, you only got half of this conversation. You got the good half though.
Mm-hmm.
It's my half. It's always the good half. Uh, yeah, as I was saying, now I don't trust you explain anything. Honestly,
Why not? I mean,
how do I know? How do I know you're not muted? I
well,
can't trust you,
that's what
man.
we have the audience to check for.
I can't trust you, man. So let's go back on this.
Yeah, let's go back and reiterate all the things that happened.
Well, I think that's you said actually.
Yep.
You said PRD.
Yeah. So this
That was the
reminded
main
me
thing.
in particular about a design of a monster from the BPRD comics, the end stage evolved frogmen. Because they
Is it the
kind of
same frogman that killed
yeah,
Hellboy's father?
yes,
Ooh,
they
I didn't actually read BPRD.
in the Black Flame comics they get I think they awaken an ogruhem and it's like gas turns them into these like, really crazy looking things where their heads are split open vertically and they have blue fire shooting out. It's really cool.
Yeah, that does sound like Minion. Okay,
Hmm.
I, I believe you. Believe you now. Lying I didn't
But
before.
yes, the
Lying I
Molten
didn't
Demon.
before.
So
Yeah, the Mountain Demon.
we were talking about
What's
the.
the what does it do?
That's a good
Why
question.
didn't stable? What does it do? What's his power? Well, all Molten Demons start with the Elish projectile power, level 1. All of them can all of them possess some sort of ranged attack. That's a baseline.
Hmm. But then
Uh
they also have their
yes,
other ability.
their special ability, I suppose, is unstable. What unstable does is the Molten Demon is constantly changing and reacting to its environment. And so whenever a human fails a fear test, the Molten Demon gets to roll a die, and depending on the result, they will learn a level 1 power they don't have for the duration of the time slot.
Hmm.
This power is lost as soon as the time slot ends, so your mileage may vary, I suppose.
Yeah, you
You
might get
can get it
something
like
supremely useful, or might get something that just really isn't that really helping you in the situation right now. It's all up
I'm
to how
going to
creatively you can use it.
to say that probably it's gonna be useful because
Hmm.
more powers always a nice thing to have, and it's probably going to allow you to be a bit more out there with your initial choices because you can pick some powers that you might consider situational or kind of out of build for you and just be sure to get something useful as soon as you roll the die. It could be a strategy.
Hmm.
You can also like I don't want to say ignore it, but like just take it as it comes, you know? Oh,
Indeed.
cool. Now I can brutal strength. I couldn't before. Neat. And you just get to swonk someone for free. You know what kind of sentence people, but especially players like for free,
Yep. Anything
free of
free.
free of repercussion. You get any tabletop RPG player and say free of repercussion. Just whisper free of repercussion into their ear.
So Elvis's question in the
That'll get him. That'll get him. They just like to do things without being punished for it.
Hmm.
Greedy TTRPG players.
I will also say that the fact that it starts with Hellish Projectile does give a very fun thing once it hits rank 3 of Hellish Projectile.
Oh
That
yeah, of
yeah.
course.
So
That's also the reason why it
mhm.
starts with Alice Projectile.
So yes, for
Honestly,
since the playtest since our public playtest doesn't actually have the rank 3 abilities unlocked, rank 3 of Hellish Projectile gains the ability for the demon to be able to use any of its other powers from the range of its Hellish Projectile. It can use its projectiles as conduits for its own abilities.
which means that any random power that you get, the Molten Demon, is now transferred. Is now ranged.
Hmm. Can you say
That's
long range projection, long range possession, long range shapeshifting, or my personal favorite, long
oh,
range
those sound great.
telegrabs
That's
for,
a lot of data. That's
for when you want to
we
grab
have
someone
to go
all the way over there?
we have to go deeper, but most importantly, we have to go longer. Now that's impressive. That's honestly, yeah, that does it for me. You know what? That does it
Hmm.
for me. Okay, okay, you got it. You got me. I'm sold.
So then we do have a question
So,
in chat from Elvis on
oh wow, who
yeah.
that guessed?
So if it gets full dark manifestation and manifest, is it safe to have around? Is it not gonna is it gonna start a bunch of flyers on accident? And that actually does bring up an interesting
Uh,
question.
yeah,
Does its real world form change as a
level
result of
three
exchanging?
level 3 manifestation allows a demon to become, I don't want to say human like. Uh, while molten demon will look like they are on fire, they don't actually set fire to things, or freezing, or sparkling, or just
Hmm.
anything you, or molten lead, anything you want them to look like. They won't actually set fire to things. They don't have this ability already.
Yeah,
It's not
a molten demon's
not
primary kind of
Molten Demon is
concept.
chaotic.
Yeah.
It's chaotic. It might look like it's molten lead, but it's actually like a skin that looks like molten lead and is sparkling with electricity.
Yep. A molten demon's primary like keywords here are that they're mutable and that they're unstable. They're constantly
Yeah,
changing.
exactly. So yeah, and also reminder like level 3 manifestation makes a demon like look like a human, which means they lose most of their human look.
Hmm.
Still, they are still like freakish,
There's always
kind of.
something wrong.
You can tell there's something wrong with them, but in the right light, you might believe them.
Hmm.
They might trick you with the
Depending
right
on
light.
depending on the demon in question, the actual human form could be wildly different. With this one, I could totally see something weird like it having, some kind of weird glow under its skin in the right light or something like that to show the fire, or perhaps a kind of pervasive smell of smoke.
It's probably always smoking,
Hmm.
just cigarettes, chain smoking all the time.
I actually do really like that. It constantly smells like smoke, so its human persona is constantly smoking to make it seem that less weird that it is constantly smelling of smoke.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going. Let's go with that. I wasn't implying anything that will get this stream demonetized. we're not
We're not even
monetized.
monetized yet.
Yeah, surprise. Will we ever be monetized?
If we get big enough, yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
Forget it.
In the
We are
meanwhile,
no one. We are no one, honestly.
we
We
do have
just
another question in chat from Ultimate Black Ace on of the demon types released, the new one included. Do you have any favorites?
vampire.
Vampire's really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing players
All
use it as
day,
a
every day. What's yours?
I want to say sword, and it's really just because I really like the idea of that the nature of sword is so variable that you have sword demons that aren't sword demons. I'm really looking forward to playing or running a game where I can have a sword demon who is just a gun.
For his never special, Joker wields a gun. If no one makes this joke at your table, find another table. Your table is not spicy enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your table is not spicy.
Mhm.
Either get yourself a table that knows its spice. It's the best. That's the best I can tell you.
You gotta get proper levels of
I
spice.
I should be stopped. Honestly, I need to be stopped immediately. Uh, but yeah, memory aside, starting to sound like Ben Wheeler here. Sure. Um, have you seen he's been starting all of his videos like, "Oh, I didn't see you there," and does it constantly. It's
I
so
haven't, but
funny.
that's great. The like,
It's so
hello
funny.
there. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I'm
Yeah,
acting as Tim Schafer.
yeah, that was amazing. Anyway,
Anyway, back on
so
topic with 12. So
let's talk about 12 molten demons, archdemons.
yes, so let's talk about Archdemons. So in our play, so during the Kickstarter, we had a few backers who backed a frankly prodigious amount of money. One of them's in the chat right
Can
now.
you use the word? Can you use the L word? Ludicrous?
For a second, I heard the L word. Like, do you mean loads of money? Do I need to
Oh,
start
I mean,
singing the song?
sure,
L
if you
O
want.
A D S O M
If
O
you
N
want
E.
to,
That's what that spell. Loads of money, probably. But anyway, so
I'm forcing you.
we had some backers who backed a frankly ludicrous amount of money.
Thank you.
These backers. So our first backer who did so is in the chat right now, and when they did so, we had the idea of going, well, we need to do something for that because that's a lot. They need something for that.
No, no. You need to tell this thing like truthfully. When we heard this, I went,
Well, yeah.
how do we monetize this?
Well, that too. That
How do
too.
I monetize everything that brings me joy? You know, how do I take everything that brings me joy and just make it into a material possession that I can obsess over until I die, miser like Uncle Scrooge?
I mean, if you get a swimming pool full of gold coins, then we're in pretty good shape anyway.
I hope I don't. Honestly, it scares me every time every time I think this kind of thoughts. It scares me a bit.
Hmm. Understandable.
'Cause I'm becoming a soulless lizard person.
Alas.
Anyway,
Anyway, so
let's
the
talk
point
about
is,
these people. Yeah,
these people backed a whole lot of money, and as
lots of
kind of a
money.
reward for that, we ended up making a tier for them in the Kickstarter that is the Hell Freezing Over tier. In that tier, one of the things they'll get to do is help design an archdemon alongside us, the devs, to make. And this archdemon will be in the core book. It'll be right there with the four that we have already, and we
I'd like
currently
to
have
be
in total three separate ones. In fact, I
yeah.
was
They
just
will
earlier.
be added to the tree that we are including in the main book
Hmm.
for a total of 6. I think we can actually start
Wait,
revealing who's gonna be in the main book and who's
we're
gonna be in the supplement.
we're only doing three in the main book.
We're doing 3 plus 3.
Okay, then what do we do with the fourth one?
It's gonna be in Seal of the Mort. It's gonna be in the supplement.
Oh, makes sense to me.
Yeah. So, in the main book we have
Yeah. In the main book, we have the
what do we have? Yeah, I'm launching you.
so we have in the main book. Well, I don't actually know which is the fourth one. Do we want the Broken Moon to be the
Raktabija
fourth
is the
one?
one that's not.
Okay, the Rock to Beach
Raktabija
is
is the
going
one
out.
that's getting.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Rock to Beach is weird enough to be in the source book. But anyway, so in the main book we have the archdemon who's in the playtest document, Chernobog. He's the most straightforward of the bunch. You know him well.
Me,
He's
Tomer.
yep.
Smash.
He's an archdemon associated with shadows, with darkness, with breaking things with hammers. He's very
Yeah.
straightforward. His signs involve quite a bit of atmospheric changes, including a slowly building eclipse, and a very fun thing that we've been calling, I believe it was Impact Vertigo. the sudden
Oh yeah.
sensation of being the sudden sensation
Oh,
of
that one
being
was great. Yeah.
like hit in the skull with a hammer, only to realize that nothing is there and that you're totally hallucinating all of it. That just starts
Uh,
happening on about day 6.
you don't get any money if you suddenly spring up and say, "Hey, you copied American Gods." Yes, I did.
Well, yeah. I'd like to think our version's a bit scarier, but I mean,
Yeah,
they
but
have
like
Peter.
I
To be fair, American Gods does have Peter Stormare playing Chernobog, and
yes,
that's about as
yes.
scary
Oh
as you can
my
get.
god, that's amazing. Honestly, like I wasn't too sold on that series, but like when we get to when they get to Cernobog, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
okay, this is a keeper. This is 100% a keeper.
Peter Stormare
Fun,
is too good at that role.
amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, so we have Chernobog. We have the Archdemon who is currently moonlighting as the Archdemon in our long-range playtest, the King of Mists, also known as the Earl King.
Also known as the King of Elves.
Hmm.
They're not like they're not elful elves. These ones don't make your shoes, and they're not Tolkien elves, and they're not D&D elves. This one don't worship weird spider goddesses, and definitely don't build ships. Don't sail around like Warhammer. But now this is like sit on you at night, eating your dreams, elves.
Hmm. These are the kind of elves where you see one and you immediately want to not see one and be very far away very fast.
Have you have you ever read Terry Pratchett? This is like the Terry Pratchett kind of elf.
Hmm.
Have you read those books?
I have, yes.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the you put like elves are beautiful. That does not mean that they are friendly by any means.
These ones, not it. And the last one,
And the last one is the Broken Moon, also known as Coil Shalqui, the who
this one is a
is
mouthful.
yes, that's hence her title in the book is officially the Broken Moon. But she is an archdemon of, I suppose death would be a good term. A much more mellow kind of archdemon compared to the in-your-face brutality of Zernabog or the scheming manipulations and dread of the King of Mists. The Broken
So
Moon
gonna try.
is
So gonna
very
try it
much
too.
yeah. The Broken Moon is very much more a surreal nightmare kind of archdemon. She's the kind of thing where things start getting weird and they don't stop getting weird, and you just get very, very scared of what's going on.
Yes.
Yep. A particular fun example of that, I believe it's day 4 or so on of her arrival. Things depictions of the human form start missing limbs and faces,
Oh,
regardless of where or what they are.
oh, I like that one.
So you just like you see say a
That's so.
poster of
That
a
spooks me.
movie and just the face is gone or one of their arms is gone or something like that.
Yeah. I just had this image
Photos.
of I had this image of faceless DiCaprio on for Shutter Island. It's like,
Yep. No, it's the posters of Titanic and then just like one of them's missing a face.
oh man, imagine us trying to be serious when we talk about our game.
It doesn't affect reflections on day
Uh,
4. It starts as things go on, things start getting a lot different.
don't do that. That's so.
What can I say?
What's
I've
that's so cheesy.
what can I say? I basically wanted to be Skeletor when I was a kid, and that desire has not stopped.
See, that's the problem. That's the root of the problem right there.
Yeah.
God, don't do that. Don't do that on stream. Anyway,
In any case,
yeah, who is getting the shaft? I don't want to say the shaft,
yeah,
but who's getting
getting pushed out to the supplement. The archdemon getting pushed out to the supplement is the Raktabija, who is an archdemon of I call it civil unrest. It more than any other archdemon is one that affects other people primarily, besides the target and besides the players. So
what
it's
do?
I I'll put it like this. early on, maybe day 2 or day 3, under the Raktabija, people just start getting angry. Naturally, a little bit more irritable than usual, a little bit more tense and conflict ready. By the time you get towards the end of its timeline, likely most of the city will be on fire as gangs of people wearing horrible looking demon masks loot and raid and pillage and fight constantly, while the skies rain blood and the streets run red.
Apparently, I've been under the influence of Raktabija for most of my life. Neat, neat. But yeah, that's gonna be in the supplement because honestly, we were gonna have 4 archdemons just in the
But
main book.
mhm,
Then we had three $500 donations.
yep,
And you're like, okay, 7 archdemons. That might
a little
be
much.
too much. Yeah, that might be.
And honest,
That might not shift.
and honestly, it's fitting that the Raktabija gets to sit out. It's a very weird kind of archdemon, one with a lot more physical danger than most archdemons, just because it's making other people start to fight constantly. So
It
there's a
might actually
lot
be more suited
more.
for like a. It might be more suited for like a medieval campaign, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. I would also say
Yeah.
not even just a medieval campaign. I would love to see. I have a running thing of having the Raktabija be a campaign you could run in the French Revolution.
Oh, I was gonna say Raktavision in space, but this is also
That is also good. Yep. So,
Raktavision in space is just Warhammer. It's just
pretty much.
Warhammer. It's just 40k.
It's even got the Blood God thing. Anyway, we have a question from Alton Black again. Favorite Archdemon?
Oh, that's not easy. Am I going to include also the ones that will be in the book that we didn't talk about, the player ones? Maybe not. Like
Maybe
just
not.
out of
We're still
forts,
We're still firming those
uh,
up.
out of these forts, I might have to say Chernobog.
Nice and
Just like the
straightforward,
idea,
but
like
yeah.
giant shadow with an hammer.
Hmm.
I I just like the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also like the first archdemon that was made. The
Hmm.
second was the Earth King, and then I tossed the problem to the rest of that team. I was like, okay, I made two, make me another two,
Yep. And we came
and
up with some weird ones.
yeah, but yeah, probably Chernobog is simple, but it's not a bad thing. It's very
Hmm.
straight. It's very easy to implement, and I do have a soft spot for stuff like this. There is beauty in simple stuff,
I would say,
and Chernobog is definitely like the representation of this concept.
mhm. I would say my favorite is probably. I would say my favorite's probably
Oh, wait, wait,
the.
wait, wait. Can I
Mhm.
call it before I say it? Pokemon.
Actually, no.
No,
I really really like the Raktabija, and it
I
might just
disgraced myself.
it's a
I just
broken it's
disgraced
Broken Moon's a close second.
myself.
I really like the way that the Broken Moon's omens came out together and everything worked like that really well. Her art is incredible, by the way. But the reason I really like the Raktabija is because a lot of the early details before everything goes crazy, I think are really really cool for ramping up tension. Just ramping up like the ideas of just, your interactions with regular people are now suddenly less of, going to the store and getting some information and suddenly start becoming more and more closer to encounters or possible obstacles. And also one of the things that it does is it starts messing with reflections. Specifically that at the corner of your eyes, you'll see people's faces as like monstrous deep like Hindu style demon masks.
Oh,
So there's just these great moments of like you'll wake up in the morning, you look up in the mirror and you see a monster looking back at you for the moment it takes you before you blink and it's gone.
yeah, that sounds like one of my mornings. Yeah,
Yeah,
I, I, I
I'm a
don't,
sucker
I
for that
don't see
kind of
what's
thing.
different. I don't see what's different from my regular morning, but fine.
Mhm. But
Okay, so your favorite one just doesn't get in the game?
it'll be showing up eventually. Out of the ones
Yeah.
going in the core book that aren't the backer demons yet, because those aren't done yet. I I definitely have to go Broken Moon. You totally called it there. Broken Moon's super cool.
Yeah, I knew.
Hmm.
I think
As
you
a,
were. I think you were actually the one who proposed the Elf King too.
I think I did, yeah, because I've we were proposing them, and I think it was because I was thinking of like mythological figures that could be good for something like this, and then I thought of the Earl
Yeah.
King, and then I looked at the poem and was like, oh, this is just a ritual from the perspective of someone who doesn't know that it's going on.
Heh. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
But yeah, and after you proposed it, I think I did the illustration and was like, "Oh, this is cool. We will keep
Hmm.
this. We're gonna keep this." And yeah, that's
Yep.
actually how it worked.
I think that one definitely will say that Earl King came together quicker than any of the other archdemons so far, in terms of
I would
like the design of all of its stuff and like all of its omens and everything. Like Chernobog had a few where we had to think about it and like figure out, okay, the impact thing and the hammers and the broken skulls and the shadows, those took a little bit to actually get everything settled. The Earl King was like instant, just we got the fog, we got the music, we got the talking. Oh, it's perfect.
Why do I hear Schubert when you're Chopin? When you're Chopin, am I right?
Yep.
Uh, am I right, musicians? Any musicians in chat?
I don't think many are particularly classically trained musicians currently.
There's me. I'm one of them.
Hmm.
They're my people. There are
Indeed.
people that I don't see. People I don't see much.
So then we had
People I have
another
taken. But yeah,
particularly interesting question, which is
yeah.
hypothetically, if you were to set a game in the future, say using these, like in the distant future, using these our supplementary settings, basically, how would aliens work? Would their emotions work? Would they have their own separate axis of
I
demon?
haven't thought that far. I actually never imagined you would put aliens in this game.
I do think it could be interesting given how many of the archdemon or demon things that we've set up have also been like we've set up that many alien encounters are actually people remembering demon events very poorly or desperately trying to rationalize it through the lens of what they know. But
I shouldn't know that you had thought about it. I should have
yeah,
known. We think about the weird stuff.
as a similar thing, the person just also asked like in that similar kind of case, what about like androids? And that I have some cool ideas on.
Oh, oh
I would
no.
love to see a cyberpunk or far future game where you have
Oh
an
wow.
AI as a target. That would be so cool.
My God, this is
Welcome
going
to
to become
Blade Runner.
this is becoming Transmetropolitan.
Hmm.
Uh,
Already fitting.
was
We
my
got King of Spider Jerusalem.
yeah, I was saying you just you just dragged it out from the depths of hell a few sessions ago. So like, why not?
Hmm.
Spider Jerusalem. That was a weird comics, honestly,
It
but a
really
good
was.
one.
I wish I had those sunglasses.
Yeah, see the truth in 3D.
Hmm. Another similar question. So someone was asking, what would the world be like if an archdemon could permanently manifest? Like,
Oh,
what would they?
does this someone have a name?
This is also Elvis.
Okay.
Yep. Asking, so what would the world be like if an archdemon could permanently manifest? Like, would it be something that could
We
happen?
will, we would all be living like cavemen, cowering in fear at shadows.
Hmm. It's part of
Just
the.
be thankful it doesn't happen.
Hmm. I think
Like
it's part.
it's just like you're asking me, what if a nigh immortal, invincible, out of reality being just sat his ass on San Francisco and ate everything just to satiate itself every day?
Mhm.
What do you think would happen?
I think if you had a setting or a world in which you had archdemons permanently manifesting, it would be a lot more of territory wars between them.
It would be a
It
complete
would be you'd have Welcome to Chernobog Zone and Welcome to Earl King Zone and Welcome to Broken Moon Zone. But
You've
the
been watching you've been watching the Harley Quinn series, haven't you?
I still haven't actually.
Oh, actually, that I thought. the way you were going about it, I thought you were going there. But I'm
But yeah.
pleasant. I'm kind of surprised, and not in a bad way, that you just like just that we still have some kind of uh power of imagination, and that we're just not regurgitating the inputs we get on TV.
hmm
Oh, that's good to
We're
know.
still creative, we swear, probably.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's more the idea, I think, that the nature of demons having a like inverse relationship between their ability to interact with the world and their power, I think really works for bringing up the question of like the reason an archdemon can't manifest effectively is because it's not that they aren't powerful enough to do it, but
it's actually the
more
opposite. They're
yeah,
too powerful to do that.
it's more that like I feel it's the kind of thing as they grow in power, the Earth is too much of a danger in a way. Like one of the things we have as a method of dealing with demons, there's a magical item in the book called a binding agent, which is like it's a prayer talisman or a crucifix or some holy water or something. You can make all kinds of stuff. But the actual effect of it is that it suddenly pulls a demon into manifesting temporarily. And in doing so, drains it of its grip because it has to suddenly panic to keep itself together. And I feel like that's the reason why these greater demons and archdemons can't manifest normally. It's because the earth so easily isn't rejecting them, it just so easily accepts them that if they're not guarded for it, if they're not prepared in a manner to withstand it, it takes everything. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
very confident. Very confident. Yes,
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah. Ultimate that case does ask the question though. If we had to live in an archdemon zone, which archdemon zone would be the least awful?
Um,
It's a good question, actually.
Barkad Moons probably.
Yeah, Broken Moon's it'd be very chill. You'd probably die, but you'd die at least with some cool sights.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
a
it's,
lot of
you
skulls
die,
actually. It'd just
you
be
die
like a
anyway.
lot of skulls just sitting around. Probably look
I
like
mean,
they probably look like
if you like aesthetic, I suppose.
mm-hmm.
Maybe you're like a 40k kid.
Could never sleeping would kind of suck though because the moon would be gigantic and immediately down in the sky. So it'd just be super bright all the time.
I think you have bigger problems.
Yeah, fair.
Like
Fair.
on a day-to-day basis, you probably have bigger concerns than very big.
I mean, Rock to Beaches would just be the purge 24/7.
Yeah, but the visual would be the suckiest one.
Yeah. Earl King, you couldn't see anything, but at least you get some cool music out of the deal, and probably, you know, at least he'd try to talk you into it first,
Yeah,
and then
like the
Chernobog would just be, perpetual weird Twilight darkness and occasional getting hit in the head with a hammer.
not that Twilight. That Twilight.
Perpetual weird Twilight darkness, and it's just Chernobog T-posing and sparkling.
There's been a resurgence. I don't want. I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Wait, there's been a resurgence?
There is a new book.
Oh, did she actually make that thing where she was going to rewrite the first book, but from
Yes.
what's his
Oh,
name's point of view? Oh,
just
that
as
sounds like a trash fire. I love it.
terrible as it sounds, and we will not delve into it because I don't want to be here. Let's talk about something else. Archdemons, they're passé. You know,
hmm
screw those gross jerks. What have they ever done for us?
What have they ever done for us? Meh. So,
Kill us?
in terms of other things that are happening within the book, one of the big things we're actually doing is reach at least what some of the writing team now is currently doing is we're restructuring part of the main book so that right now, as it stands, the game is currently focused on the investigation side of gameplay. What we're doing is restructuring an entire chapter to make it so that that is one option of several for the types of gameplay you can do. You all follow the same story, the same kind of story beats. The same, you have 12 seals, you're going to have to get rid of them. you have 12 or you have 6 seals, you have to get rid of them, you have 12 days, there's an archdemon after you, yada yada yada. But with different methods of how you can go about that. Investigating, hunting down the seals, and getting rid of them is just one option. One of the other options, for example, is just running. Just running right away as far as you can get immediately and not stopping. At which
No one
point
is ever gonna blame you.
it stops being a game about you going after demons to try to stop them and becomes a game of demons going after you to try to stop you, where seals become roadblocks and traps to try to waylay you on your path, where the demons are more aggressive and much less focused on trying to waste your time as they are trying to physically stop you right then and there. On the other hand, you could say just try to hold up, find a place you could defend, and say, well, they need me as part of this, so I'm going to not let them come. And at that point, the steals start becoming options for breaking into new your new defensive setup. It starts becoming battering rams and siege weaponry. It starts becoming assaults wave after wave, night after night as you try to deal with the problem and spending your time judiciously as you try to escape it.
Basically, the most hardcore version of not answering the postman.
Exactly. If you've it's that scene from the first Harry Potter movie with all the owls, but
Yeah,
lot more
it's actually
fire.
it's actually demons.
And then there are other ones we're somewhat working on in the process. The idea is that we
We
have
are
is instead of having this, here's how you play the game and here's some supplementary options in a back chapter that only like half of the people getting the book will read. It's no. Pick which one you want. They all going to play effectively similarly in terms of the core mechanics, but there's little bits of flavor that change each one. For example, on the running away one, demons in that one always act first. Enemy demons always act first in the turn order because they
oh yeah.
can't afford to wait around. It's no longer a question of trying to of lackadaisically waiting for you to get in and waste your time. They are directly after you. They're always taking the initiative to go first because they cannot wait for you because you are running.
This is actually new for me too. So keep going.
Yeah, that's one of the mechanical changes we've firmed up so far.
Okay,
There are a
that's
couple,
good.
yeah,
I like
and
it.
that one's actually very simple. That for that particular one, very little else changes besides that and a couple other things. But say
Yeah,
for the siege one, quite a few things change, and there's all manner of little things to try to make that work.
as you can understand, I've been to do the arts and everything else. I'm not always up to speed
Hmm.
with whatever is going on with my game. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, but believe me, for my own mental sanity. I don't actually keep an eye on it constantly. I just like sometimes yell at people to do things,
Yep, entirely
and then
understandable,
and then
frankly.
you read them, get mad, tell them to change them. And I've been doing this since 2019. No, that's not true.
I mean, we
The
started this in
more
2019, basically.
the more the more we go on, of course, the more I delegate
Hmm. Which is a good
to. I
idea,
mean,
frankly.
I feel like the best thing I've done for this game was putting together a team that's actually able to handle themselves. You will be surprised how many people are actually not able to handle themselves. To clean their own mess,
Yeah,
if you want to put it like
to
that.
work without constant oversight.
And when you have like a small indie dev team, I think like the most important part of it is making sure that every member of the team is self-sufficient. No layabouts, no time wasters. Everyone needs to pull their weight,
Mhm.
and like thankfully mine do. So yay for us, yay for them. Thank them. I feel like I get a lot of the spotlight, maybe sometimes too much of the spotlight.
I mean, you do have the double whammy of team lead and core artist on a game where your art basically sold half the game.
Oof, I still don't know how that happened.
Yes, your art's good.
No, it's not. It's that's false modesty. But yeah, no, I was just not expecting it, honestly. Like it did catch me by surprise. I'm not trying to be like not like doing the classic. Oh, I don't think my art's good. Like I know where I'm good and where I'm not. There are things I do well, things I do less well. And yeah, I was surprised how many people honestly were like, "Oh, this art is amazing. That's what got me into this game." And I was like, "Really?" Because I made a game that's like trying to be revolutionary. It's kind of like change the way you change the approach of players to the game. And I was expecting more people to come in for the mechanics, but you know, as long as they come, uh, why not? You know, still fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, this is enough for Archdemon stuff now.
sounds about right.
uh, let's talk about what do we want to talk about show right now? Do we want to talk about the supplement? Do we want to go a bit more in depth on what's going to be in the main book?
We could go main book before we go supplement. Give everyone a taste
Okay,
of what's going on, and then go on to the rest. So in the main book,
so
the at least the current version of the draft is about twice the length of the playtest, sitting about 180 pages, and it'll only get bigger as we actually add in these
180.
extra
Oh,
chapters.
oh, this guy has dry through it, bleed us dry. I'm the lady.
It's fine.
Things we do for you people, the things we do, honestly.
Hmm.
Players, what have they ever done for us?
But yes, so basically what we'll be having in the playtest in the final
I'm,
version of
I'm,
the book.
I'm joking, we love you.
Hmm. Yeah,
Don't upset them.
what we'll be having in the final version of the book is we'll be having a lot of excuse me.
No, you don't know the excuse. You're fired.
No.
And that's how you avoid paying your workers.
The joke is on you. I'm the one who made the bank accounts.
Oh no,
Oh no. But
I
yes,
made a
anyway.
terrible mistake.
So the way that the book will be having all the powers, all these these 8 playable demon types, these 6 usable archdemons. It's going to have sections on how to. It's going to have sections, and actually it already does have sections on how to create your own playable demons and create your own archdemons, as well as creating your own competences. Because naturally, not everything can be covered in the nature of the game as it is. You might
Trust
run
me.
into something
We tried.
strange and weird and very specific, and this is why it has entire little sections talking about how can you break it down to get something that thematically works for what you want, but mechanically works within the game. It's relatively straightforward. In addition to that, we'll be having our expanded list of magical items and regular items, which is, for to be quite fair, most of the regular items are like, do you have anything that you can use to do a thing? It's probably just going to sit in this entry. Here's our giant pile of magical items with really weird, varied, and specific effects.
Oh yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Like, people like the magic items.
Mm-hmm. I'm still
And
waiting to
am I
see.
am I anyone to blame them?
I'm still waiting to hear or see the someone run a full human party and have that full human party be nothing but just kitted out in magic item gear fighting demons. Because I would love to see
Yeah,
that.
that's gonna happen in week one.
I'm
You
down
know
for
how
it.
people like human only parties are.
Mm-hmm.
They will flock to the idea. That will happen week one. I guarantee you.
Probably will. It probably will.
I don't know
Yes.
how I feel about it honestly, but
But yes. Actually, that's an interesting question. Elvis just brought up, would it be possible to someday have physical like minis of the iconic demons? And I think
I
given
think we can do
some
that
yeah,
eventually.
it's the kind of thing I would
Not
need to actually
now.
get a mini thing set up because that's a whole other logistical issue to get down. But I would totally be down for that.
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
want to
Like
have a
the
little painted Marceau.
the idea seems fine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah, I wouldn't mind having them.
But yeah, the iconic demons in particular. for people who are just watching or learning in, we're trying to keep all of these example demons who we have the art for consistent throughout the all of the books and supplements, so that whenever there's a demon that people like, an example character or something that needs to explain a thing, you have a character with a discrete move set and discrete abilities that will show up. Hence why they all have different aspect forms and all things like that. Speaking of aspects, do you think we want to add more for the final version of the book, or do we want to keep with the ones we've got,
Uh, yeah, aspect demons.
or just
We
aspects
have
in general?
we have so many. We have
Yep.
so many aspects. Honestly, I feel like we have more than 12.
Oh wait. Oh, we do. Yes, I think so.
Yeah, they are very. There's so many. I don't know if we need to put more in the main book. I feel like the more things you put in the main book,
The less we have for the supplements later.
more you no, the more you'll confuse players at a certain point. I don't think like the kind of player who wants a lot of options is going to buy supplements. The
Mm-hmm.
kind of player who just buys the main book, just wants to open the main book and play. And putting too many, I feel like we risk the kind of ivory tower design of D&D
Mm-hmm.
3 third edition, in which like we end up making subpar decisions, we end up making like subpar options and trap options and all like that. I want to put as much thought into every option we give the player as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if this means we have to do less,
Then so
sucks
be
to
it.
be us.
I will
Yep.
say that it does. I would like to put in a little section talk about how to make your own aspects as well, because I did get one of the very early emails we got, actually, like way back when we were first starting the Kickstarter itself,
We were
was
literally no one.
someone emailing like with a bunch of ideas for aspects, and
Oh
some of them
boy,
were
yeah.
ones we actually had covered that just weren't in the playtest document. Some of them were some really interesting ideas for one. Some of them were really weird and dumb, but they were all really cool. It was cool to see someone who had come in with those ideas and gone like, "Hey, I've got this. I've got some ideas for possible aspects. Let's do it."
And our answer was like, "Don't you have anything useful?" I'm
I
a
think
professional.
my specific
I'm a
answer for
professional
yeah.
bully at this point. No, bullying is not cool. People don't do that. Not even on the internet.
Not even on the
Honestly,
internet.
we like to receive feedback
It's
and
really good.
feedback emails, like more ideas. So if you want to like send us anything, say, yeah, I think you should have this and this in the game.
hmm
Just
Any kind of feedback we
bother
get.
us. Do you want to bother us? Just bother us.
Yep.
It's
Any kind of
fine.
feedback we get is always super useful. In fact, I got a piece of feedback from some of my playtest people just a couple days ago, talking about the idea of having some form system for demons to possibly respec their abilities in some way. You
Oh,
know,
that's
figuring out
that.
the I got this ability when I started the game thinking it would be something I would use, and I never use it. What do I do with it?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't like
I think
12 is 12 days long.
yeah. I
And
think
if you play like on voice and kind of knowing what you do, you get through, I would say, 1 day each session.
just about.
That's reasonable, especially when you're like deep in the tank, like 6 7 day, and you have to take like time slots just to rest.
hmm I
And
think
those are
that
just like just go away. I feel like this is like a total of 12 sessions. I don't know if you will get to the point of regret.
it's something that if we do incorporate it, we'll need to balance it out by having it not be easy or not be a one-to-one return. It's
I just
something
Yeah,
like
or you just go to Nexus mod, download the mod, and
but
just
yeah, I think
mod this
it
game
might
every
be
time.
a means of sync of like an equipment experience sync of some kind that is costly but lets you respec things, but it's not like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
more expensive than
yeah,
it would be to just get a level.
yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
figure it
That's true.
out. It's something
Yeah,
to kick
actually,
around.
being able to this is why I wanted the XP expense mechanic instead of the XP base level up to be
hmm
in the game. Uh, Expanding XP makes for so much. Like you can add so many things that you can just like, oh, spend XP for that, spend XP for this. You want a respect? Okay, spend XP. You want to buy magic items, spend XP.
Yep, it's a
It's so much it's so much easier, I think, to just add
yep.
things that have a real cost. Because if it was like if I was like yeah, you spend XP to get this, and your XP is calculated in the same way you do in D&D, in which you accumulate XP and you level up. You will be like, I just got enough that I don't lose a level. I will spend it,
Hmm.
and you still stay at the same power level.
Yeah,
While in this way, you're like, you either get this or you get something else that's
yeah.
cool, you know?
In addition, it also comes in. It also brings in an interesting kind of thing where lost my train of thought for a second.
Huh?
I lost my train of thought. What was I'm trying to think of? It was a very cogent
Did
point.
you ever have one?
I had one. There was something here. I
No, it's
swear.
not possible. No, it's not possible.
I think.
Don't
Oh, I
even
think
don't
part of
give
it.
me that.
I think part of it is what it comes to is that having having XP as a cost, having a effectively finite resource can also allow a lot of things because we gave it a place within the lore of the setting within game. There is a thing that XP represents. It's the energy that demons get from fear, or the energy that humans get from resisting fear. It's that like confidence and power and thing. And there are
Ah,
things you
you're
can have
not
within the context of an in-universe story that deal with that. For example, the playtest just this past Monday had a had an encounter with a neutral demon, a demon not affiliated with the ritual specifically, who is willing to trade information for experience, power and effectively food for possible important or valuable information about what they're going to be facing. So yeah, having like demons be able to bargain with experience with neutral demons or things like that is entirely an option, and it's I think what makes it so good that XP is so flexible and interesting.
Yeah, indeed. And I feel like we struck a good balance things overall.
Mm-hmm.
Having XP sinks is important. If you're especially if you have like a molten demon in your party and your GM is being very heavy on the fear test, they're going like, okay, just spam fear test to fuel this demon so they can get to use their powers. You might end up with quite a lot of experience actually,
Mm-hmm.
to the point that you might expend all of it to power up everything you have and end up having this demon with like 4 level 3 powers and not much else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have aspects, and activating an aspect cost XP.
Mm-hmm. It's why we
That's
have
why
magical
we
items.
have magical items and you buy them with XP. Because having an XP sink, it's both a way of like trading long-term power with immediate power, but it's also something to give to players who are like already powerful and need to spend, like not feel like their XP gain is now meaningless.
Mm-hmm. And it definitely and because of the magical item thing too, it also means that you can have like a character who's built to get a lot of XP, helping supply other characters who aren't getting as much XP on the other side.
Let's be honest, there is quite clearly a demon archetype that's like the first demon time in the book. Actually, that's all
Mm-hmm.
about getting XP. So
And some of them go even more so. See King and as I found out from last session, Zach made King specifically because as it was a playtest, he wanted to see if he could break it. So King gains an average of I think like nearly 3 times as much experience as everyone else when things happen that would gain experience effectively. Because he's a
uh,
cacodemon and he's got the thing that lets him turn broken seals into 2 XP for the whole party.
so I have to, at this point, I have to ask you: did he succeed?
Yes and
Did he
no.
break?
He I don't think he broke it, but he definitely found a very powerful if very dependent on the player's actual choices kind of build. His build is like it gets a lot of XP, so it can get a lot of stuff, but it doesn't actually have a lot of places to put it. Not to say compared
Hmm.
to Wretched's build, who is, I'm rolling 5 dice and one of them's a D12 for every possession test that also
That's
are
better.
easier.
Yeah, it's like juggling dice all day.
Mm-hmm. No, Wretched's possession stuff is kind of terrifying, frankly.
That's good. Like characters will feel powerful, and this is something
Mm-hmm.
we made sure of. Like your demon will feel strong, and you
Yep.
still will feel like dwarfed by enemy demons.
Yeah, it's especially when it comes to reaching that third level. Our goal for each third level competence and third level power was to make it a big important capstone, something that you get it and go, "Oh, this is cool. Hell yeah, let's do it." Just look at the throw power for brutal
Oh,
strength. Brutal strength 1, brutal strength 1 I can hit pretty hard and I can hit multiple things. Brutal strength 2, well I can hit hard to break stuff. That's pretty cool. Brutal strength 3, I am throwing cars at people. Fear me.
yeah, that's like also trying to like cover like when you get to Brutal Strength 3, you essentially cover the problem you have with Brutal Strength 1 and 2, that is short range.
Mhm. And
Now
then you
you can
get
just like throw boulders at people. You
and
don't
then it's
even
like
have to use
aforementioned
range anymore.
earlier aforementioned Hellish Projectile 3, which lets you cast other abilities from Hellish Projectile, which can do some really goofy weird things with some of those other abilities. Or even even the more mundane ones like Grasp of the Abyss. Grasp 3 gives you the ability to attack while grasping. It's not flashy, but it's
Uh,
really useful.
I like that you consider mundane the idea of shaping your arm into tentacles and constrict people.
Yep, and that tells you a lot about what kind of game
That's
12 Entertainments is, that is
something.
mundane.
Yeah, that's something I do every morning. Honestly, I just wake up and choke a goat with my 3 feet long tentacle. Don't you do that too? That's a good way of getting your breakfast.
Delicious.
Yeah, when will I ever say something that's not a huge meme at this point?
My vote's
Oh,
on never.
okay. Uh, it doesn't allow me to concentrate on drawing too. But that is fine. It's like this is a talking stream first, second, and third, and then the art is like I'll do as much as I can do. I'm kind of stumped on the color, honestly. I don't know if I want to go like full red, 'cause it sounds a bit like Hellboy, honestly.
Hmm. I mean, depending
Mhm.
on, I suppose. That's a good question, I guess.
Or maybe I just go full Hellboy and say whatever. Mike Mignola, come get me.
Bring it, Mike.
Don't call Mike. I'm weak. I'm weak, and you're very strong.
Mike
Me weak.
Mignola, the terror of the ring.
Mike Mignola very strong. Me very weak. Honestly, it's not even a challenge. I'm just like I die if you drown. But yeah, let's talk about supplements then.
Yep. So then, for supplements, while our main game has the our main game has the basically is getting everything together in the book is trying to be relatively straightforward. It's trying to make sure that we don't have too many weird options clogging up the mix. The supplement is where we get add all the weird stuff, all those extra stretch goals that didn't make it, all the shenanigans, shall we say?
Are Are you a fan of Burning Wheel? And you will like the supplement. No, we're not going that. You're not going that deep. Oh my. Oh no. I'm
I would probably have a breakdown if we had to somehow implement like Burning Wheel's weird class and race specific progression systems into a game like this.
fans of Burning Wheel. I'm not saying your game is bad. I like Burning Wheel. What I'm saying is, I don't think I can do that. Honestly, I don't think I can do something quite like Burning Wheel. It's might be impossible, honestly.
Burning Wheel is a game for a very singular audience. It is a very good
But
game
this
for
is
that
not.
singular kind of audience.
But this is not what we're talking about. What we're
Yeah,
talking about today. This is what we're talking about on Saturday.
indeed. Saturday we'll be recording what is basically a small podcast talking about various game dev things. You know, because
It's
because we
you need
can,
this
and it's
Saturday.
fun.
You need this Saturday for is D&D bad? No,
Yep.
really, that's what we were talking about. Is D&D actually bad for small developers? Is the D&D discourse actually a bad thing, or isn't it? Or is it actually a good thing? Um, I've had to like kind of fight against some people this week about this argument, so you'll see.
Hmm.
People who mind you don't answer because they're too cowardly. Now, of course, people don't want to stir up drama, and that's totally fine. But yeah, we talk about this.
Hmm.
It's gonna be fun. So come on down on Saturday, same time, to hear us rant about the state of TTRPG. I guess so. I guess this is what we are talking about, like the state of TTRPG right now in the world.
Hmm.
And yeah, but the supplement,
Yep. So supplements have a lot of weirder things in them. We're trying to put in as many of the stretch goals as we can that did make it in there, including I believe possibly the Exorcist campaign if we can get it working. That's not necessarily guaranteed, but it's there-ish. That the Exorcist campaign is a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff that needs to change to make that really work properly.
yeah, have you played Astral Chain?
If you have not, I highly recommend it. But
That's more or less what the Exorcist campaign looks like. It's
mhm.
Astral Chain. Yeah, yeah, boy. I kind of want to do it honestly.
You gotta go to the you gotta go down and meet your crazy cop ghost stand. Only now it's a
Yes. Oh
demon,
God,
and now
yes.
you're demon cops. Da,
That's
da,
gonna be
da.
so cool. Oh my. That's the only kind of cop I ever want to see. Please,
Hmm.
cops, don't come here.
Yep.
Anyway,
In any case,
supplement.
other
Exorcist
things within the
campaign.
supplements. Yep. So we got the Exorcist campaign. We've got more playable demon types, more greater demon types. Something that didn't actually.
Very probably, the singing demon is gonna go in the
Mhm.
as a lesser demon in the book.
I still have no idea what that one does, but it sounds cool.
And one more greater demon, the Immortal Master.
That
You
one
will like
also
that
sounds
one.
very cool.
This one is a more Eastern inspired greater demon.
Hmm.
You will like it. It's very interesting. It does things in a. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it does things in a way that nothing else does in the book. It does really kind of turn everything upside down. It's interesting to witness.
I'm very much looking forward to making it work
Yeah. And what else? More magic items, even more magic items.
because, of
So
course.
far, yeah, so far the ones that are confirmed to be added, like for the stretch goal, the ones that are confirmed to be added to the main book, should be the chains of cold iron, and I think the sphere of all seeing will be in the book together with the rest,
That'll
and
be
some
interesting.
more that I'm not going to spoil, obviously. The chains are kind of something I'm looking forward. I really like the concept I have for them, and I hope like the rest of the team can help me make them work.
Hmm.
And all I'm going to say is they will be featured in the Exorcist campaign. So yeah, and yes, the most important thing about Seal of the Unworthy, the supplement, will be of course making side human characters feel a bit more alive, feel a bit more like they have more of a leg to stand on.
Hmm. Have everything a bit more set up so that they can participate.
Yes, and especially like make things that kind of like influence a demon based on who is the demon attached to. so that demons
Yes.
don't just like float around the party, but like choose a specific human to go
Yes.
after.
Right now we have the bond ability, like, and it governs how people, like, if a demon gets below half their maximum grip, then they have to deal. Then they cause a fear test because the player can feel it through the bond. But frankly, it's that place that originally had come from has been closed for quite a while, and yet still does the demon remain. So basically, what we're trying to do is take a lot of the ideas we've had from the main book, little bits and pieces, bits and bobs from here and there, and combine them and coalesce into something that is worthy of having properly to run the game.
I really hope we get there. Honestly, I'm kind of positive though.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've been doing good. Honestly, if you told me the last year you came to me and told me, okay, in a year from now you'll be sitting on a almost 10K Kickstarter, ready to fire a book that's been like a success for everyone who watched it. I I tell you to like get lost because you're clearly making no sense, but it's happening. Oh, it's happening, so clearly it works somehow.
Yep. We do another question from Elvis. Will magic items have their own art? Probably some of
Yes,
them.
they some of them already have. I post them on our Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me just maybe I can open them actually. I can open a few. But yeah, they will have their own art. Some of them are like kind of cool, and I like them. I'm not the best when it comes to illustrating magic items. Oh yeah, here's some of them.
Oh yeah.
Not the best when it comes to like making items, but I've tried my best. When I make these kind of objects, I try to draw them as if I was drawing a building. Like especially with the Macau Whittle, you can see like I went with this very like long perspective, and yeah, I'm essentially like thinking of it as if I'm drawing a building, a perspective.
Mm-hmm. It's all about that getting that kind of visual trick to make it feel like it has that depth.
Yeah, but anyway, yes, magic items will be having art. Not all of them, but like the most unique ones, like this dagger here, which is so weird. It's like a demon detector kind of dagger. That's like shaped like Pacific culture style shark teeth dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Will be having its own art, and it's kind of an interesting item, I feel.
I definitely think so. It's one of those ones up there. I think with, say, the Hand of Glory is one of the ones I really want to see in a game.
Yeah, I hope we never get to that. Uh, but yeah, as you can see, there is very much a lot of stuff in this game that's still to be discovered.
Hmm. I think
And hmm?
I think looking at it with Seal and looking at how we've been doing all this, Seal's definitely going to be a book where we're trying to put in. It's basically like it's. I feel like it's going to be half new content and half just us trying to expand on older content
Oh
to
yeah, for
make it
sure.
more
But
interesting.
that's how. As much as I like to think that we already made this interesting enough, that's how expansions work. Like a bit of old stuff and a bit of new stuff.
A little bit of best of both worlds.
Yeah.
In other words,
So yeah, projects for the future. Let's talk about something that we want to do that's not 12.
good call. So I definitely got an idea of some stuff we can do for everyone's favorite Kickstarter thing, the Zine February when they do that.
What is this? I am not familiar.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned it to you once, but so every February Kickstarter
Sorry, but I
does.
forget everything.
Yep. So every February Kickstarter does a thing where they have an entire month of zine promotion of RPG zine specifically, where they
I'm not
have,
sure what an RPG zine is.
I think, like just like a little 20 page thing. just like a little tiny adventure, a little tiny system, a little tiny whatever. The idea is that these little tiny ones. You know, they're usually really cheap. You know, if you wanted to pay like super cheap to print, super cheap to do. Kickstarter
Mm-hmm.
promotes an entire thing of people making them, and they all go into their own little category, and they all show up on the front page, and it's just for the whole
Right.
month of February. And I figure it's the kind of thing of like, okay, when we finish this, when we finish 12, 12 will be shipping out in November. It'll probably be getting people's places in December, and we'll be working on other stuff at that point. I have a feeling by
Mm-hmm.
the time we hit that, it's perfect timing for us to have to throw in a couple, at least one or two or three of these.
Yeah, yeah, that could be
Yeah,
an interesting idea. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
But aside from
From little things, when it comes to the bigger stuff, well, we want to talk
we
about
have
Witchmech.
yeah, we have a new game in the works because I can never stay still and I always have to kind of move my hands around. We have a new game. I suppose the title for now is Witchmech.
Yep.
It's a game about witches. I've been asked like, what is Witchmech about? And my answer was, witch says railgun go brrr,
It's about
and you'll
accurate.
have to yeah, and that's about what I'm going to reveal. But it's a game that's like very different from 12.
Very much so,
Um,
especially in medium. Do we want
yeah,
to do we want to reveal what kind of game it is?
no,
Yeah,
no.
let them stew. I will say
Also because I kind of thinking we want to do both an RPG and that.
we can definitely do that. We could probably even do it as a semi narrative thing. Like
Yeah, but
yeah,
like,
you know
but
the
like,
type.
yeah, but like, Witchmech is a very different game. The I feel like what kind of links it to Inner Demons is it's still a game with a strong objective behind it.
hmm A strong
You, I
objective and
don't like,
likely I would say a
yeah,
strong objective and likely a very strong emphasis on the same things that 12 emphasizes. Which is a
you know,
like speed and it's like
yes,
speed and
oh
flexibility
yeah,
and
mechanically, obviously,
mechanically note like dice rolls going quick and everything working quick and fast and easy in a way that
but
makes
like,
it fun and keeps momentum going.
thematically, it's gonna be like a game about, which is similar to 12, game about getting to your objective and learning to work together between
hmm
very different people, like learning each other's strengths and weaknesses and using them to complete an objective, which is very similar to what Inner Demons is trying to do, but in a completely different way that I think people will appreciate. Honestly,
hmm
I'm very excited about Witchmech. Honestly,
Yeah, you and me
can't,
both. I will say I'm
wait,
still
can't.
pushing. I will reveal the 4 words I'm push the 4 word long phrase that I'm definitely pushing for Witchmech, which is the
Okay.
phrase chicken leg aircraft carrier.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I have some fun ideas. But yes,
But yes, oh, I love when you.
that's
I
definitely
love
in the
together.
hopper for the
Wow.
future. And then I think we've like between you and me and Rabbit and we've got definitely some ideas kick around for possible future projects too and things we can put
Oh
together.
yeah, just like full of them. Do you like sword and sorcery?
I certainly do.
Because I like sword and sorcery too. And I was talking to someone on Twitter earlier, and I was like, you know what, we need more sword and sorcery games like Conan the Barbarian, but less like Conan the Barbarian.
2D20 is
It's
a
like,
clunky system. We do not recommend it here.
no, no, not just like clunkiness. Why it's like less about naked barbarian smash thing,
And
and more.
a bit more of the weirder kinds of sword and sorcery, I
I'm not
think.
gonna say that Conan is a dumb barbarian. Conan is actually like kind of a smart, roguish character if you want.
hmm
But yeah, it's like less like about heroic, heroic main protagonist does thing. And more like, oh wow, crazy and kind of a style sorcerer's world full of danger and very unlikely heroes.
Hmm.
So not always heroes, but very unlikely protagonists kind of fighting off these mysterious forces.
The fun kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, evil wizards.
Also, evil wizards. It's
Oh,
not a
evil
sword and
wizards.
sorcery game
Oh
unless you have at
no.
least one guy dressed up like Ming the Merciless.
Evil wizard must have like a super evil, obviously evil layer, like school on top of a mountain, something like that.
Yeah, or like giant temple filled with snakes or something like. He's got to have it.
Uh, uh, let's just say if it doesn't at least make you think of E-Man, we don't want it.
Hmm. And then
Why
I've
would you want it?
and then, I mean, I've got some fun things to kick around in the future too. I still have the kicking around draft documents of my idea of, you know what we need? Character action games.
Uh,
I'm still gonna push that. I still really love the idea because I for one want to play Bayonetta the RPG, and Bayonetta the RPG doesn't exist, so I've got to make it.
yeah, for some reason, no one has tapped into that media yet, which seems like a huge waste.
It really does. You'd
Don't
you'd
you
think.
don't you people like don't you people like a bit of DNC?
Seriously, right? I mean, so far
Yeah,
the only thing
that was
the only genre switch I can see this tapped into it is of all things League of Legends, whose new character is literally just Dante, complete with a style meter.
I have I am not really of oops. I'm not really much of an expert on the medium, I suppose. So I couldn't really tell you. But sure, why not?
Hmm.
If we can get the League of Legends people to play TTRPGs, why shouldn't we?
You
Honestly,
you would think they would have made a thing for that at this point. They've tried
yeah,
damn near everything else.
yeah, why not? And at this point, we can just like go to Ubisoft and say, "Hey, we're gonna make a For Honor system."
I'd be down.
No,
I would
no.
totally play For Honor with demons. Wouldn't that be great?
Why demons? That's like straight up For Honor. I think it would be like an
Actually, yeah, no,
interesting
just
system,
I would
but
be. I
I
bet
don't
you
know.
could do
I'm
some
just
cool
like
stuff with that.
I'm more or less joking at this point.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot in store for the future with us. We've got a lot of fun ideas coming
We waste a lot of time.
in. We waste a lot of time and we spend a lot of time even better.
Yeah, I suppose you can say that. Do you have any question?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do we have any questions from the audience? Any last things to say? Let's take a look here. Oh, when's the Shadowrun style 12 video game?
Oh, okay. So we were discussing this with like people lately, and it was like, if you could make a video, like what kind of video game would this be? Like what kind of video game would 12 be? And I was like, I almost gave up and say, okay, it's just like Persona. But someone came to the rescue and say it's a sort of like XCOM kind of game, and
Hmm.
then it hit me. This is like the Shadowrun computer games from Airbrained.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah, honestly, like if it ever happens, I think I might like jump so high up in the air, I will be stuck into the ceiling for like a few days.
I think it's definitely something we can make happen. It's something I definitely think we can make happen. I really look forward to making it happen.
You are completely crazy if you think that, but I like that.
I mean, it's the kind of thing where like mechanically out of everything,
I make sense.
like mechanically out of
If
everything, it's a game genre that we can make work really easily. Like in terms of like layout and everything, it's not end of the world difficult.
that said,
That said,
You need to find the kind of people that want to do that. I'm going to level up with you, my guys. TTRPGs, not the most popular thing. I don't
I
want to be
mean,
brutal about this, but TTRPG is not the most popular thing. We are getting like sort of more recognition by the day. This is true.
oh, that's actually a very good question. Uh,
Uh huh.
Ben just asked. So he was checking the sample book and saw that it doesn't actually say what vampire demons do because they're not in the sample book. They, along
Oh
with the
yeah.
vermin demon and sword demon, aren't in the sample book because they're the weirder of the base demon classes, ones with a little bit more weird mechanical nuance. Vampire demons have an ability called Life Drain Parasite. They have the ability to steal grip from normal humans or steal stress from normal humans and distribute it to their bonded human. It's very potent and very powerful because they can use their abilities to. They are a non-rest based source of healing, albeit with some interesting and possibly dangerous moral complications.
Not to mention, whenever they do it, you take a fear test.
Yeah, because it's horrifying. It is absolutely freaking horrifying. But that can be a very useful way of trying to farm XP out of people. However, it is limited on when they can do it.
Yeah, and you can do it like twice on a single person. You have to like you can just spam it, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's still a very potent and very useful ability that can give them very powerful sustain. I think they're one of the when looking at the builds, they're one of the few that can really rock the I'm forgetting the name of the background at the moment. There's a particular background that rewards not resting, where
Yeah,
they get bonuses for having not rested and just keep going straight through.
yeah, for
And
sure. They can like
they
do
are
good.
absolutely one of the ones that can take that and run with it all the way down.
Yeah, probably. Not even joking.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ones. Vampire demons are very interesting. I am quite excited to see where they're going with it.
Well, who is going with it?
I guess in my case, I'm excited to see how vampire demons will be acting for how the players will work with them.
Hmm.
Like it's one of those things. It's like I'm also really excited to see how human players will how players will actually treat the vermin demon with their specific trauma based XP gain stuff. I really want to see how they'll play that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. But yeah, I think like vermins are probably like the easiest kind of the gnome based demons. Let's call them the advanced demons if you want. They're kind of like the least interesting ones.
I think so. I think visually they've got a lot more interesting things
Oh
going
yeah,
for
for
them.
sure. I love all my children equally. Vermin demons, don't feel like I don't love you, okay?
We love you, vermin demons.
No one else does, by the way. That's another of the. That's probably like the hard thing about them, at least like play wise. The other demons don't like you.
All around me are familiar faces.
Please don't do that. Thank you.
Yeah, we would probably get content claimed by that, which could be
Oh
unfortunate.
yeah, yeah. Just now we got a notification from Warner Bros. They graciously decided that we didn't, in fact, try to appropriate their music when we were playing Chopin on a live stream. Poggers, I suppose. Apparently, Warner Bros. Doesn't has decided that they don't own Chopin. Who would have known?
Warner Bros. Is a strange and capricious thing.
Capricious is a word. I have other words that are not as
As charitable, perhaps?
I was gonna use a stronger word, but sure, let's go with charitable, okay? For sure. Have fun with it. But yes, for sure, I don't understand this kind of mechanism. Why
Yeah.
would you bother someone that's just like playing classical music of all things on their stream just to go, hey, maybe I can milk some money out of you. Hey,
Yep.
hey, no, no, that's just like it's low. You know what? It's just low. Warner Bros. If you can hear me, come get me right here. I've played Chopin. I've done it twice.
Warner Bros.
Concert.
If you can hear me, come at me, bros. Come at
Yeah,
me, Warner Bro.
I've done it at concerts. You can't do anything about it. Well,
One moment. It appears
uh huh.
that the stream has momentarily had a hiccup. Let me fix that.
Oh no, I insulted Warner Bros. And they came for us.
Just properties and sound and transition. No, it's still just showing a black screen. I don't know what's happening. What's going on?
How long has it been doing this?
Like about 30 seconds. It's showing
Oh, okay.
a tiny piece of the screen.
Oh,
Good
have
job,
you
Streamlabs. Thank you for your fine contribution. We
have
do have
you
a
killed
question
all
to
the
answer while I fix this though, which
Okay,
is
let's go with it.
what would you say you've learned from making 12?
Uh, that's an interesting question. I mean, I clearly learned a lot about making people work together. Building a team, it's not easy. It's not something you can improvise. And there has been failures, but I feel like I have learned how to make people work at their best. And I've also learned that you can rarely trust people when it comes to business. And when you can, you better keep those people very close to you because it's an awful world out there, honestly. Not that I didn't know, but touching this kind of reality by end, the sense of like being completely left alone, it's not a fun one.
It's very
It's not a
much
fun
not.
one. Yeah, but it's not all negative. Like uh, learning essentially,
We've
I don't
learned
want to be like I don't want to be predictable and say, "Oh, learned how to make game good," but really learning uh, how to kind of simplify things for gaming. It's kind of not easy. It was kind of a challenge learning to kind of straighten out everything, learning to not go overboard mechanically. uh you're really a risk kind of like creating redundant or very specific mechanics that shouldn't actually be in the game. The pruning of useless or bad mechanics is something that you really need to learn by making it, and this experience was a lot of it, honestly.
Yeah, I can definitely say that like in my case there's both the more figurative learning like that, we're learning a big experience about how to make about making games in total, and there's also the fact that like I physically had to learn a bunch of stuff for this
Oh
whole
yeah.
process. I had to previously before this game, the last time I had used Adobe InDesign was in I want to say ninth grade to make a character sheet for a bootleg Persona homebrew game that I made.
Oh, that's brutal.
And now years later, like basically a decade later, I had to learn how to make. I had to completely relearn it in order to put a book together.
Who is laughing now, Persona? Who is laughing now?
They never saw it coming.
Yeah. Oh no. You, you, you didn't say that. Oh my.
What can I say? I live the memes.
Oh, you know, terrible, terrible. Ah,
Yeah, but
and
then
this is the
also,
best. This is the best you can find on the market, by the way. Um,
but yeah, then also in terms of just music not music, in terms of learning in general, I've a lot of this has been learning where to take. A lot of this has been learning where to, I suppose, channel my general ideas for this kind of game. Since I've been so heavily on the mechanical end of things, it's been very interesting taking, because usually I'm the kind of person who will go super off on a weird lore thing and let it go for forever and make crazy setting nonsense that is, I think is very interesting, but I mean, how much people are actually going to care about that?
yeah,
Being,
I feel like you learned a lot of like what priorities are.
yeah, a prioritization and focus in a way of like, you have to be able to mechanically and intuitively show the thing you want them to deal with before they will care. Like, it's crazy lore is fun for crazy lore's sake, but in the context of a game, if there's nothing else tying the crazy lore to everything else, it's just gonna be there. It's just sitting there as crazy lore.
Have you got it fixed, by the way?
Yes, it's been fixed for a few minutes.
Oh, okay, okay. I
Yeah, no,
don't know. I was
we're
like,
all
should I keep drawing? Should I not keep drawing?
yeah, no, we're all good. We're all
But
good and fixed.
well, I'm kind of done with drawing. Honestly, this is the molten demon. This is our molten demon. This will be in the book. This is the most Mignola thing I've done in a while.
He's very Mignola and very
I
cool.
really amped it up on the blacks. I love doing this kind of heavy blacks. I haven't done them much. I think when it comes to 12, I've tried to use a more delicate kind of shadows,
Hmm.
like a bit more earth tones, a bit more grays. Still very choppy. Still very like direct. Hmm, still very strong, but in kind of like this light grays, maybe. Not
Hmm.
trying to go too overboard on the darkness. This one though, I feel like the kind of contrast works really nicely,
Yeah,
and
it gives
I'm
it really works with the fact that it's has the flame to give it this kind of lighting effect. The darkness makes it look like it's being very well lit from the side where it's light.
yeah.
Also, I like the Elvis has a particularly fun description of it. It looks like it's got a jacket, but the jacket is a hunger, and the face up there where a face should be.
Yeah, yeah, in a way.
Yeah,
But yeah,
this has been a
we
good.
are we're kind of done for today. I've been having fun. Have you been having fun?
I've been having fun.
Yeah.
I hope you all have been
So
having fun.
yeah,
But yeah, we're going to be trying to do this about once a week. Get some art
every
streams in
Wednesday.
every Wednesday. We'll be here doing some art, making some things, talking about the game and the process of where things are going. And then next on our schedule,
Let
every
me
next on our schedule on Saturdays, we'll be trying to go for on Saturdays will be more of like a podcast kind of thing. We'll be discussing points and talking on ideas, recording that, maybe putting it up somewhere, probably putting it up somewhere. We'll figure that out.
Should I like spoil something real quick about Witch Mech?
If you want.
And you've seen enough. You've seen enough.
Yep.
It's a
There's
sketch. Just
an immediate flash to some designs from Witchmech. They're really
and
cool. They're
let's
really,
let's
really cool.
let's leave it at that because there is like way worse coming. And yeah,
Yep. And then so on Saturdays we'll be doing that, and on Mondays we'll be having playtests.
yes, let's be very thorough with it. Every Wednesday we draw, like I draw, and we talk about 12 and everything else that's witch and craft.
Hmm.
Everything that's us. On Mondays, we start a little later because I don't have to be on stream and I don't have to be functional, so we can start whenever. And Mondays there will be the campaign that our playtesters have been running for quite a while at this point. What day are they on?
They are on day 6.
Day 6 with 3 seals down already, so they're kind of going fast.
Yep, they're above the curve right now, but how much it'll stay above the curve? Well,
Oh, I don't know.
we'll find out.
And our playtesters have been consistently amazing. Honestly,
Hmm
they have they have been the birth of so many weird memes. I don't even want to get into those. Let's get their party a shout out, since I should have the image for them
hmm
uh, somewhere.
Yeah, the incredibly excellent image
Somewhere in
because
my extremely uh, crowded documents full of all the drawings.
I don't know, Ace. I will say Wretched possessing a cat by biting it with a snake is pretty good. There's some
Uh,
memes in there.
Here they are.
Yep. But yes, this is our beloved playtest group.
You know what I had fun with trying to figure out how they would sign.
Oh, the handwriting?
Yeah, yeah, trying to figure out their handwritings.
Who was the one that Oh yeah, no, it was the guy possessed by the sword demon who Wretched bit with the snake foot.
Snake foot,
Yeah,
bottom
apparently
deck.
that snake foot thing is actually incredibly useful with just Grasp of the Abyss, zoop over a snake to bite someone to possess them.
Nice. Um, and on Saturdays we will begin at the same time. So it's I think it's 9 p.m. UK time. It's 10 p.m. Italy time, and it's 4 p.m. EST.
Yeah, it's 4 p.m. EST.
And yes, we will be doing general TTRPG slash everything that is gaming talk. It's gonna be a bit more of a podcast. There will be no drawing. There will be a lot of like unchecked opinions, very spicy hot takes.
Hmm
We will be talking about anything they really feel like. This one is gonna be aimed at analyzing whether Dungeons and Dragons is a good or bad thing right now for small developers. And yes, this is all we have to say for today.
Yep.
I've been Amelia. This is Show.
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming,
we are Witchcraft Games. Thank you for being with us.
and we'll see you next time.
And now beam us up.
And like that, we're gone.